questions for the offense. Start with Bryce.
Sawyer, obviously a tough way to go out. When y'all put that fourth quarter together, I mean, did you feel like, you had a chance to maybe tie it up, get to overtime, or win it?
Yeah, absolutely. Kind of par for the course this season. Just just being in the fight and kind of swimming upstream. It felt like, but yeah, absolutely. That was, and after the long play to Kobe, I thought that's definitely what was going to happen. And then, credit to them. They did a good job keeping us out of the end zone all game. We drove it on them all game long, but they played well, and so they made more plays than we did.
Sawyer, after seeing Caden go down, it seemed like you guys kind of came together a little bit. How did that affect things for that fourth quarter and the rest of the game after he went down?
Yeah, it was. I think guys kind of rallied around it for sure. Unfortunate, obviously. He's been a big part of this team all season. You talk about like Dawson goes down before the season starts, has surgery. B-Wash has been banged up all year. Second play today, he's done for the game. And so just relying on Caden Knighton, Mike Turner, Joe Dull, all the freshmen, basically. And for them to step up the way they did all season, I'm so proud of them, proud of Coach Hall, just that room. It was never easy, throughout the season, but, they were running hard all day. They've been running hard all season, whether it was good or bad, successful or not. And so when he went down, I think the guys rallied around it for sure.
Josh, I know Coach said something about it at halftime in the halftime interview going in. Y'all couldn't settle for field goals. That was the deal in the first half. How much do you feel like that almost kind of came back to haunt you? That, you had 3 chances there. You kicked 3 field goals and maybe missed another opportunity. How much did those end up costing you think?
Yeah, kind of like what Sawyer was saying. We're just kind of driving it on them. And then getting down to the red zone, really just got to capitalize. So I think it definitely played a part in it for sure. And that's what you got to do when you get in that zone. You gotta find a way to get in there. So that's just what we didn't do today.
Back here, this is for both of you, so if you guys could each take a second to answer it. But as you reflect on your career here at Baylor and just everything that you guys have gone through together, what has this team meant to you? And when you were taking those final moments at McLean Stadium, what is the green and gold, that time in the green and gold, meant to you?
Yeah, it means everything to me. There's truly no place like Baylor. Coming out of high school, I wasn't supposed to be here. I was always overlooked, literally for everything. So just to have Coach Aranda truly believe in me from the start and actually see something in me and my potential, and for me to really just kind of give that back to him as a thank you, just how hard I play. It means everything. I love this place. I'm always gonna come back. I'm Baylor for life for sure. So it means everything to me.
Yeah, I'd say the same thing. I don't know if it's fully hit me, either one of us, but me for sure. I don't know if it's fully hit us. But yeah, just all the highs and lows. I think over the past 3 years, I got here in 2023 when the whole entire landscape of college athletics was changing basically. And obviously it was a rough adjustment that year for us. Won 3 games. And so, you always want to leave. You always want to leave places better than when you found it, when you got here, both on and off the football field. And even though the season was what it was this year, tried my hardest to do that. And so at the very least, I think just showing that fight, showing the grit, toughness, no matter the result, hopefully that is the foundation that is laid for the future years to come with Baylor football. And even though Josh and I aren't going to be the ones that are celebrating any kind of conference championships or playoff berths, hopefully we can look back one day and say that, we played a role into kind of laying the foundation when everything changed kind of in 2023.
Guys in the back, to kind of go along with that, in the beginning, before the game started, being with your families and Coach Aranda coming around to say hi to them and saying kind of like a farewell to y'all, what has he meant to y'all, throughout your careers here at Baylor?
Yeah, kind of like what I was saying before. He really just bought into me from the get-go. always spoke life into me, always believed in me throughout my whole journey. So really just having that and knowing that there's someone who truly trusts you and has complete confidence in you really changes the way you play. And so I feel like that was reflected as the years went on, as it progressed. Just knowing he had my back, that was definitely huge.
Yeah, I mean, just to kind of piggyback off of that, I mean, after some bad performances early on, it would have been really easy for him to kick me to the curb, I guess, in a way. And so for him to believe in me and continue to give me opportunities to play for this team, for this university, and represent this university has meant the world to me. And I without a doubt know that like he's one of my biggest fans. I know there in the fourth quarter he was loving watching the offense go and drive the ball down the field and score. And so I know he's pulling for me. I know he's going to continue to pull for me for the rest of my life. And I can say that with complete confidence. I know, at the very least, Coach Aranda loves me, loves Josh, loves all of us. And that goes a long way.
I know you guys really wanted to get to a bowl game, and that's frustrating to not get there. Obviously, there's a lot of Baylor fans who are really frustrated. What would just be the message that you would have to them as, you guys won't be here next year, but, like, why should they keep the faith, I guess?
No, for sure. This team's a whole bunch of fighters. Once we just put our head down this offseason, get after it, I know Coach Aranda, Coach Vic, the whole staff's going to get everything turned around. I got complete and utmost faith in the organization because there's been so many ups and downs. Kind of like what Coach Aranda was saying before, we're battle tested. Like we've seen the highs, we've seen the lows, and so now it's all just about putting it all together and leaving that product on the field.
Yeah, I would say kind of more practically speaking, like just with how like NIL and transfer portal and stuff works now, like you can flip things around really, really fast, but maintain like the integrity of the like what Josh was talking about, fighting and all that stuff. And so, you look at this team, you're a couple puzzle pieces away from being a really, really good team, right? And now maintaining that throughout the course of a season, guys get hurt. Like I was talking about earlier with our running back room, like you're running low in that department. Got like 2 linebackers hurt or safety, like all kinds of stuff. But obviously, Coach Aranda has proven he's a good defensive mind. You just got to get the right puzzle pieces with that. And then Coach Spad, we finished as a top 20 offense last year. I don't know. I know we were around there coming into this game. Had 421 yards this game, and so you're probably looking around another top 20 offense this past year. And so I think there's a lot to look forward to. It's just kind of like fitting those missing puzzle pieces, and hopefully them staying healthy throughout the course of a season.
Anything else for these guys? All right. Thanks, guys.
Appreciate y'all.
Keaton, obviously you guys wanted to make a bowl game. Just how frustrating is it that y'all were not able to get that done?
Yeah, it's tough. You work all winter, spring, summer, and then camp, and the goal is to go plus, finish positive, college football playoffs, and then you don't hit the stars you miss, you hit the moon, get a really good bowl game late December, early January. And so it's tough. Like you put a lot of hard work in. There's a lot of long nights, early mornings, and sometimes the ball just doesn't roll your way. And so now we have to get back to work and get prepared for next year.
Keaton, some of the young linebackers had played a lot today, played pretty well. Can you talk about the future and how some of those young guys have progressed and what the future looks like in that room?
Excited for them. I think they've done a great job just coming in and meeting the standard and working really hard and developing. And it's been such a pleasure for me because like when these guys come in the room, everybody's kind of looking up to me and asking questions and trying to figure out what they should do, what type of play style they should get. So it's always such a blessing and pleasure to see them transform into themselves and see them play their style of ball and it translate to this level. And just super proud of those guys and the way they stepped up this year.
Micah, y'all had fought back to tie it. How frustrating was that long drive by them when I think they converted twice on 3rd down, once on 4th and 6. How frustrating was that drive for you guys?
I mean, very. In the moment, you just got to pound the rock and keep going. But when bad things happen, you just got to shake back and try to make it good out of the situation and have the outcome lead your way. So that's what we're doing.
Keaton, Wegman kind of ran. You guys have struggled with the running quarterbacks all year. I mean, did you do anything different this game to try to slow him down? He still got his yards, but what did you do to, I don't know, try to keep him contained?
Yeah, we tried to play best of our ability. Like whatever the call is, we got to execute. And there were some plays we got to box it tighter, some plays we got to spill it tighter. And that's a part of it. When you play a quarterback who's a really good runner, it's always another guy that you have to worry about who potentially can throw or run at any moment in the game. And sometimes it just goes like that, but we got to execute better.
We go to Bryce and then Jackson and then Parker.
Micah, I know you guys have to be careful about how you talk about officials, but it felt like a day where it was a lot of very physical on some of the pass routes on both sides. Like, did it feel like y'all would make a play and then you didn't know whether a flag was going to be thrown or not?
I feel like we just got to go into every play just doing the best of our ability, keeping our technique sound, and, just playing our hardest, and whatever happens, happens. Just got to move on.
Keaton, a lot of the defense has eligibility remaining. What building blocks did you see out of the unit this season that y'all can work on over the offseason?
Yeah, I think this season, obviously, last year we had a lot of guys leave, guys who have been here for 6, some even 7. And then this year we had to have some young guys step up. And I think they played their hearts out and they learned as the year went on. And so now they'll just take what they learned and build upon it, right? Like you said, the building block piece. I think that potential is limitless. There's still a lot of things that are untapped. There's still a lot of things that a lot of our young guys don't understand yet just because it's their first year in the fold. But I'm just excited just because you have something to build on. When you lose, even though it's not something that you want, only way to go is up. And so that's the beautiful part.
Keaton, it seemed like really that defensive performance, especially in the second half, is something you guys can build upon. Was that spurred by what happened to Caden? And obviously he's doing all right now in the hospital, but what was the feeling with the defense? Like, did you guys maybe get some extra juice going out there for him?
For sure, 100%. Even before that, we wanted to play hard. This is the last game in McLean for a lot of guys on this team, and we wanted to make it special. And we knew there was only one way. We had to stop thinking of I and thinking for the team. And then, with C-Night going down, you hate to see that, and that should always push you further because that's your brother. You go to war with him. You go a lot of days. We all here sacrificing. Like, we don't have people going home for holidays, people who aren't from here. Like, there are people who miss a lot of stuff going on with family, miss a lot of birthdays, anything. And so when somebody goes down, like, you want to go harder for them just because, you know what they're going through. You feel what they feel.
and then right here in the back, a guy that's been, many have called for his job all season. What does Dave Aranda mean to y'all?
It means everything. I mean, for me personally, y'all, a lot of y'all know my story, but I came from JUCO. I was in a little town of 300 people, and they made it important to come out and see me and come home and meet my family, meet my grandparents, and that means the world to me. Just the opportunity to leave a place and come to a new place and meet new faces and get to go to school for free. Like, that's the biggest and best blessing that anybody can wish for. And I have a lot of appreciation and love and admiration for him, and we want him here because, I mean, he is who he says he is. He's not a fake. He's not going to lie to you and then turn around and do something behind your back, and it means everything with him being here.
Anything else for these guys? All right. Thanks, guys.
Appreciate y'all.
Yeah, frustrated, sad with the outcome this morning. Really wanted to win for our seniors, wanted to win for kind of the extended Baylor family, the football family, to have a day in the sun. It's been too long since that was the case. And then wanted to win for our players, our team, just to kind of push through and persevere and fight through the obstacles and to kind of stay on the path and to not detour and to keep the faith. And very much wanted that for us. And so to not get it hurts and it stings. At the same time, just so proud. I mean, we had however many running backs down, and we were kind of down to it. Joseph Dotz was, personal tragedy in the morning, and so we were consoling him prior to it. Didn't know if he was even going to play, and so he's playing through it, just inspired to try to represent, and all of it. There's just so much that guys are carrying, and they sacrificed and gave of themselves for this team. So we're down a bunch there. We're down a bunch at safety and just you name it. And so to have guys continue to kind of step up and give to the team is way inspiring. I just think too many mistakes. There's a defensive example. There's we're making stops and there's a long run. It was on their sideline and it was some man coverage, and it was a quarter. Every week there's a new quarterback run that Houston does, and so this is theirs for us this week. And we don't we don't adjust with it right. Safety's got to come down, get cracked, and corner would set the edge, and then we get the backers over, and that doesn't happen. And it's a touchdown, which is not good. We make the adjustment on the sideline. We make the adjustment again at halftime, and we see the same play, same call, same thing on third down, and it goes for another touchdown. It's really the difference in the game. And so, you just can't win when it's that way. So I take responsibility for that. That had to be so much better. I think in spite of those types of things happening, the guys are continuing to believe and continuing to push and continue to try to fight. I think in a lot of ways this game is reflective of the season that we just finished, and so tough to swallow, tough to look at. Take any questions you guys got.
Dave, obviously, no bowl game, off season starts now. Like, what are the biggest priorities for y'all going into the off season, and what needs to change the most?
I think we have to really look at how we're going to build this team. There's a fair amount of movement with a big senior class leaving. I think we got to look at building this team from the inside out. I think in terms of money spent and portal and everything was a fair amount on skill positions, and kind of the rich got richer at certain spots. And I think it has to be more on line of scrimmage play and big people, and that's going to be our goal, is to be really effective in recruiting that way and developing a team that way.
Coach, I think you made it to the red zone 6 times today. You got 1 touchdown out of it. What were the struggles and why you couldn't kind of finish those drives and get touchdowns from the red zone?
Yes, I think a lot of credit goes to Houston. They've been that way throughout the season. They play their quarters coverage and their bracket coverage down there, and so they'll double guys based upon releases, and their front does a nice job of not allowing rush lanes for quarterbacks and stuff to kind of get loose. We got to execute better. I think we had, there was Sawyer there was a pass action this way and then a handoff here, and we decided to throw it. And if we ran it, I think he walks in. There's things that we've executed better in the past that we got to execute better then. And then I think some of it also was just in the moment, balls up in the air, come down with it. I think the personal foul or the DPI penalties. I think there was a point in the game where the explanation I got was that when our defense is defending versus their offense, we're not looking back for the ball, we're getting penalized, and that when it's vice versa, when it's our offense and their defense, they're not, that's not getting called because they're looking back for the ball. And so that's something I'd have to look at on tape. It's just very frustrating in critical moments. I think it was all kind of hitting us at the same time.
What would you say to the team when Caden was down, and can you update us on what you're hearing on him?
Yeah, he's getting movement up, upper body and lower body, so the tests are not done yet. I think it's positive right now with him. It's way scary, and the team, so many guys are so concerned. And so I pulled him up. I told them what the injury was. And then I said, hey, this is precautionary. They're going to take him in to look at him because they don't know. But his family's with him, and we're going to say a prayer for him. And so we all were able to do that. But I know that was heavy on the guys' hearts after that.
Dave, the way y'all came back, scoring 2 fourth-quarter touchdowns, and then you had the ball at the 13 with a minute to go. How confident were you, and how frustrating was that not getting in the end zone on that one?
Yeah. I think everyone on our sideline felt we were going to score and win. And, very, very frustrated at the end. I think, like I say, I think this game was kind of illustrative of our season. And, I remember, and I told the team at halftime, I remember when Josh Cameron was a walk-on, and David Wetzel had found him, and he was walking Josh through this is when we were in Simpson, through the facility there, and there's just something about Josh. I know that he'd always be up wanting to meet and talk kind of, individual improvement, and you'd want to watch film. He was bugging coaches a lot. I mean, I think at first some of it was like, yeah, and this is Josh? Yeah, this is Josh, right? And then, when he got his chance on the field, Josh was like blocking and just putting people in the ground, and then all of a sudden it became, man, we need to play this guy. And it's just, and in all of it, like his ego never got big, and it's just when a dude goes, when you see a guy start and just humble and work hard, man, you just want everything for him. I remember Sawyer in a quarterback battle when he lost, he came second, and I was on the back end of the facility. We're in Simpson again, and I was going this way. And we used to have like a glass kind of open space, like a player's lounge in there. I was going this way, and I saw Sawyer going that way, and this was the afternoon of the announcement that we're going with someone else. And there's guys walking through, and Sawyer put his eyes down. And he was embarrassed, that he lost. And so I remember catching him after that and going, bro, there's nothing. Man, this is just the beginning for you, bro. And so just all of those things are just so, that's the stuff you remember, And it's like, man, these guys that have trusted you and want to, that had opportunities to leave and would decide to stay. It's like, you want the best for them. Yeah, that's all the stuff I think of when it's stuff like this.
Coach, just some key pieces out today. Michael Trigg being one of them. What has he meant to this program, and then what was he dealing with today, and maybe what do you see for his future as he departs here?
Yeah. So. Michael had like a head injury from this last game, and so Mike, like his playmaking ability, I think is unique, and I think it's a mismatch. He's a really good blocker for as athletic as he is, and he's a willing blocker. He loves football. He loves competing, and I think there's so many things with Mike where it's just. I think from school to school, when you move like that, it can kind of become like me versus them type thing. Me versus basically anybody that's an authority or that's maybe not your immediate family, maybe. And so there's a lot of work that it has to go in to earning trust and being real. There's a balance that has to go with, man, these are our standards, and I recognize you though too. And so that's kind of that whole thing is the thing. And I'm thankful for Mike because he's tested and helped me and us in that way. And I just think there's, he's going to have some opportunities here in the postseason and all of that for his career, and so way excited for him and a fan of his.
Coach, with it being such an up and down season and the decision to retain you for next year, is there like a newfound motivation going into next year to improve this team?
Very much want to improve this team. I have to. This is just a horrible feeling. I'm just tired of this feeling. I'm just tired of it. And so there's a lot of work that needs to get done. And I think it starts with building the team inside out. And we're going to get right to it.
Dave, National Signing Day is Wednesday. And I know your class has kind of eroded a little bit even today. Mm-hmm. How important are these next couple of days? And what's more important, the transfer portal or National Signing Day, and do you have enough NIL for the transfer portal?
Yes. I think all of it's important. I think the guys that we've got right now that are committed to us, I feel good about. The transfer portal is really important, though. I think that there's only, if you've got, if $5 is what you got, there's the $10 ain't going to pop out the air, and so it's 5 that you have, and so you have to use that for. You have to use that in the right way. And so I think the line of scrimmage, I think the O-line and the D-line on our teams, and I think building it in a way that, there's a more physical component to this team, I think is critical. I think, this past year we had probably the most expensive and arguably the most talented receiver core in our league, and we need to be better up front on both sides of it, and so I think the portal is very critical.
Jackson here in the second row wraps up.
Coach, it seems like this could be an off-season with a lot of roster movement. Most of the offense is out of eligibility. At what point does your attention flip fully to next season, and what's the strategy this go-round?
Yeah, I think today's going to be. It's going to be. My girls are here, so there's still Thanksgiving break, and so probably today's. I'm going to hang out with them, and try to enjoy them a little bit, but then after that, I think it goes right to this, and whether it's our class retention, or it's portal hunting, and then there's discussions that we have to have on our team on hey, if someone was paid this and this was their season, right? Is this what they're worth, right? And all those things are those have been kind of ongoing, kind of building or prepping towards, and now we're at the time to have those things, and so I think that starts tomorrow. Yeah. Okay, thank you guys.